do not imagine his business would have called him away just now if he had wished to avoid a certain gentleman here.
Oh, it's a shame Mr. Wickham can't be here tonight.
Please may I have this dance, Miss Bennet?
Of course.
I dare say you find him very agreeable.
Heaven forbid! That would be the greatest misfortune of all, to find a man agreeable who I am determined to hate! Oh, right. You may want to talk, Mr. Darcy, perhaps about the size of the room or the number of couples.
Do you often talk by rule while you're dancing?
Sometimes one must speak a little. It would look odd to be entirely for half an hour together, but for some, conversation ought to be arranged, as they may have the trouble of saying little as possible.
Are you consulting your own feelings in the present case, or do you imagine you are gratifying mine?
Both. For I have always seen a great similarity in the turn of our minds. We are each of an unsocial, taciturn disposition, unwilling to speak unless we expect to say something that will amaze the whole room.
There is no striking resemblance of your own character, I'm sure. However near it may be, I cannot say. You think it's a faithful portrait, undoubtedly.
I must not decide on my own performance.
Do you and your sisters often walk to Meryton?
Yes. When you met us the other day, we were just forming a new acquaintance.
Mr. Wickham is blessed with happy manners that may assure him of making new friends. Whether he can retain them is less certain.
He has been so lucky as to have lost your friendship. So unlucky, sorry, to have lost your friendship. And in a manner which he is likely to suffer from all his life. I remember hearing you once say that you hardly ever forgave, that your resentment once created was unappeasable. You are very cautious, I suppose, as to its being created?
I am.
And never allow yourself to be blinded by prejudice?
I hope not. Good evening, Miss Bennet.
So, Miss Eliza, I hear you're quite delighted with George Wickham. I find that he forgot to talk of his connections. He is the son of old Mr. Wickham, the late Mr. Darcy's steward. As a friend, do not give all confidence to his assertions. All the stories about Mr. Darcy are false. He's always been remarkably kind to Mr. Wickham, though he has not always returned the favour. I do not know everything, but Mr. Darcy is not to blame. I pity you, Eliza. The discovery of a favourite's guilt, but considering his descent, one could not expect much better.
His guilt and his descent appear by your account to be the same, but I have heard you accuse him of nothing more than being Mr. Darcy's steward.
I beg your pardon. Excuse my interference. It was kindly meant.
Oh yes, he is a charming young man, so rich and only lives but 3 miles from us.
Anyone care for a song?
That will do extremely well, my child. You have delighted us long enough. Let the other young ladies have time to exhibit.
Miss Bennet, if I was so fortunate as to be able to sing, I should have great pleasure, for I consider music as a very important diversion. However, there are many things a clergyman is devoted to. In the first place, he must write down his own sermons, take care of his dwelling, and have attentive and conciliatory manners towards everybody, especially anyone connected to the great Lady Catherine de Bourgh.
Bye! Bye! Cheerio! See you tomorrow!
Bye,
dinner.
You're welcome. Capital! But then we can't hear the scene. I'm filming. How are they actually gonna... Are you filming? Yeah.
I've been automated.
No, scene! That's ridiculous! Just one colour. You may want to talk, Miss Darcy. Perhaps about the size of the room or the number of couples. Keep it going, come on, don't pause it. Just keep going. Get out it.
Do you often talk by rule while you are dancing?
Sometimes one must speak a little. It would be look oddly. It would look odd. It would look odd to be entirely silent for half an hour together. But for some, conversation ought to be arranged, as they might at the trouble. Cut.
Oh, yes. He is such a charming young man. So rich and only lives but 3 miles from us.
Okay, stop.